Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the 112th coffee stream. And it's a Wednesdays with Skep edition. How are you, Skep?
I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying the rich timbre, full frequency feedback from your microphone. It's just beautiful. What a difference this made.
Yeah, I love this mic.
I don't blame you.
I am super happy with the mic purchase. Pincalo fixed the stand. The C clamp loosened because of the way that it was set. So Pincalo put it.
Oh, the thing that anchors it to the desk, or
yeah,
right. Gotcha.
So Pincalo put it on the shelf next to my desk at a different angle. So it's up and stable now.
Very
that
cool.
was so fucking aggravating yesterday. Oh my god.
Pain in the butt.
And I was like in a groove too. Like I was hitting the stories. I had a fucking progression that I wanted to go.
You get that momentum going on, right?
Yeah, and then my mic fell to the fucking floor, and I'm like, shit,
really?
Shit. And Pumpkin Trucker, or was it Pumpkin Trucker? I think it was. He said it sounded like at the perfect time because I was getting mad at AOC. He goes, it sounded like I threw something across the room.
Like you lost control.
But it was my mic falling down.
That's funny. That is funny.
Oh man, if I just couldn't. All I had to do was laugh.
Well, sure, it's such a natural thing too. But anyway, God, well, you sound good, and we have. It was interesting. I was listening to Ben Shapiro. Was it Ben Shapiro? No, it was Lords of the Night last night. And Scribe was saying, well, it's been a boring news day. And I'm like, India and Pakistan about to go to war. Okay, they're shooting each other's jets down.
Yeah, Gunfox was mentioning something in chat yesterday about India, Pakistan.
We're quite cross with each other at this point.
Yeah, well, they've never really been friendly.
No, the whole Muslim Hindu thing.
Yeah, they've never exactly loved each other, but this is a whole different thing. Oh yeah, shout out to the chat. Thanks, RVA. Sorry about that.
And
hi, chat.
He says, shout out to the chop.
Oh, to the chop. Oh, okay.
What?
I don't know.
Am I missing it? I don't know what that is either. But anyway, shout out to the chat. Hi RVA. Hi Peter Almond. And hi Rico, Gunfox. And
I think that's
it. We have coffee acquired, and we have wake up achievement unlocked. That's about all I can claim to have done. Can I just kind of share a weird thing that has happened to me in the last week? It's kind of fun, but it's sort of weird.
Sure.
I got like 1,000 new followers on Twitter in the last week. Like 1,500, actually, closer to 1,500.
Wow.
Suddenly people are just streaming in. And, I've kind of gone out, soliciting followers, but I never had it work this well before. I don't know why the sudden surge in that, but, I'm up to like 11,600 followers now.
Good Lord.
And it's kind of fun because you sort of hit a critical mass. When you tweet something out, you get a lot of reaction back. There's a lot of conversations going on, and it's a lot of people to keep up with. But it's pretty fun. You also realize the value of lists. That's how you keep up with it. You have this giant following, but there are people who you want to make sure you don't miss any of their content, and so you quietly put them on lists.
Yeah.
And that's what those are for. If anybody ever wondered what lists are for, that's one great use for them in Twitter is when you get a huge following, but you want to keep up with your very closest friends, especially. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on this morning. War in Pakistan and a bump in Twitter followers. Blind Press's new microphone, which I think we all agree is awesome.
I love it.
If you don't love it, you get your ears checked because it really makes a difference.
And Pincalo did order the second one, guys.
All right.
So Blind in the Special is going to jump up in quality.
You going to have enough money for food?
Yeah, it was because thanks to these lovely people.
Yeah.
The amount of money that I was able to transfer from PayPal, I just put right on my loadable credit card.
Hooray.
And we've put that on the Amazon account.
Yay. See?
So you
it makes a difference.
People, yeah, you lovely people have been able, honestly, you people are fucking amazing. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit and stream for 2 hours if I didn't have this chair. Because my back would give out.
Right.
I wouldn't sound like I do because of you guys. I wouldn't give you guys gaming content without you guys.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are... I love you guys.
This is what life is supposed to be like. With friends you trust and you help each other, and just, this is good living, in my opinion. Pincalo says it's not a reloadable credit card. It's an actual credit card. These wonderful people are helping you rebuild your credit because of school. Thank you,
yes,
everyone.
That's true.
And good on you. All you need says, did you Gorilla Glue that mic stand to the table?
No, Pincalo.
Whole hog. Need to rivet it.
Pincalo did he did secure it to a different area and at a different angle. So and also he's positioned it perfectly, so there's no reason for me to touch it. So I am not touching it. I am not fucking touching that thing.
Oh, hey, you know what? I can't believe I missed this. Arva, you sly dog. Shout out to the chop is a shout out to me. Would you like to know why I'm a chop?
Oh, because you were called the pork chop, right?
Right, exactly.
Oh,
supply corps officers are called pork chops.
You sly dog.
Yeah, the oak leaf that you wear instead of a star on your shoulder board as an officer has roughly the shape of a pork chop.
That's amazing.
and that really is why they're called pork chops. And when you have a 3-man department, as I talked about that, the senior guy, the department head, is called the top chop, and then you have the pork chop. That's the second in command, the second most senior one, and then the junior one is called the lamb chop. And when I came aboard the USS Kansas City, I was the lamb chop, and then I stayed on and fleeted up to the pork chop, and so. This old pork chop appreciates the shout out. Thank you very much, Arva.
That's awesome.
That's it's sort of amazing, Blind. I mean, that was 75 and 76, 24, 33, 43 years ago.
Wow.
43 years ago. And I don't feel that old. I mean, let me tell you guys something about getting old. It doesn't change changes your perspective because you just have more experiences. But in terms of the way you see and feel the world, it's not any different. I feel like, I'm not kidding when I tell people that I'm not old. I'm just experienced at being young. Some people do change, and their cognitive processes really truly do change as they get older. Mine have not. They've remained roughly the same for good or ill. And I think that's why I like hanging out with 20-something gamers more than, hanging out with old people talking about, these young kids don't know how easy they have it.
Yeah.
That isn't,
Pincalo says to me a pork chop means something completely different. Because he's Portuguese, right? So
I didn't even think about that. Yes. So, what are all the things that a pork chop can symbolize? That's interesting. So, at any rate, there's Will. His company. He says, I can't stay because I'm going to therapy. But good morning, everyone. I hope you have a great show. Thanks, Will. Nice to see you, bud. Hang in there in therapy.
Yep.
And speaking of getting well, so how are you feeling from the accident? Are you getting over your soreness?
It's like, it comes and goes. Like,
Yeah.
I was feeling great on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. Well, that was quick.
I mean, you still have a shiner. I mean, it's going away.
Yeah.
A lot better than what it was. But
yeah. And then Monday and yesterday and today,
yeah,
I've been really sore again. Now, Monday and yesterday, I was basically crawling all over the floor with the vacuum. I had those baseboard extensions.
Mm-hmm.
I was like using that to get in between the stove and the counter and the fridge and all the baseboard, like all the crap in the kitchen. And then I used it on Monday to get under the couch, and so I was crawling around on the floor, and then just trying to clean up and everything because I didn't do anything from Wednesday through till Sunday. So everything was kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
So that probably didn't help.
But
it needed to be done. And so I'm super duper sore still, and it didn't help because I already have a back problem.
Right.
So this did not help my back issues.
No, it was not. It was not a therapeutic crash.
No, not usually. No.
We have some new arrivals to the stream. We have Doc Griffin and
hey,
Sir Adamantine. Hi, Eddie. Has come in. Seamus Darby is here. I call him Seamus because I don't know any better. You might be Seamus. I don't know, but I've always heard that pronounced Seamus.
Yep.
And there's Jean. Bonjour, Jean. Comment ça va? And quelque chose d'autre. So anyway, and we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez may have committed a fairly significant ethics violation.
Well, color me shocked.
People thought it was just because she hired her boyfriend. It wasn't that she hired her boyfriend, but she exceeded the amount that her campaign was allowed to pay him. She paid him like $1,000 more than he was authorized to be paid. So it's probably just like a fine type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of points to how clueless and out of control she really is. And she really doesn't know how clueless and out of control she is.
Well, and it's not just being clueless and out of control. It's highly ironic that somebody who's bitching about rich people making too much money then turns around and pays her boyfriend too much money.
$6,000, yeah.
Yeah.
And busts through the $5,000 limitation. The other thing is, I'm really, she says that I know what it is to, come from hard Scrabble background and, work my ass. I had to work in a bar. I had to work for tips. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what hard work is.
Banker?
Something like that? She was raised in a very ritzy section outside New York. She says she was from the Bronx or Queens or something. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not where she was raised. She was raised out in one of the upscale northern suburbs, and uh, she went to a high quality school, and had all the advantages. And the other thing I notice, interesting thing, she doesn't seem to be very good at economics. Really, truly is says some things that I've known a lot of econ majors, and not one of them would have ever said that. I have a master's in business administration. I had to take a lot of economics
Yeah.
to get that, and at a graduate level. And she has not shown me that she knows the first thing, and I mean the first thing, like basic supply and demand, basic understanding of supply and demand. Uh, in what she's saying, I think and one of the things that I've always noticed about politicians is if they did well in school, they always brag about it.
Yes.
I listen to what politicians don't say. I always have an ear for what they don't talk about. Do you ever notice that Barack Obama never talked about how great his grades were?
Nope, he never did, and I haven't heard her do it either.
Yep. And he, uh, she graduated from Boston University with this econ degree, and just lands in Congress. Boy, she is really starting to sound like probably somebody who was an indifferent student, partied her way through school, did the absolute minimum, didn't really get a lot out of her education. She shows very little intellectual maturity to me. And now she's in fucking Congress because she was in the right place. She was a pretty girl in the right place at the right time. I even tweeted something like that this morning.
You want to know how she got her degree? She was one of those girls who dated the nerds.
That,
I'll sleep with you if you do my homework.
Right, exactly. Take my midterm, one blowjob. I mean, I hate to say that. That's probably not true. It's probably not anything like that. But I wouldn't put it past her to use the tender trap, we used to call it, to get what she wanted, to get past the mathematical unpleasantness of higher economics, higher macroeconomics. Anyway, so she's continuing to disappoint, piss us off, and so forth. The interesting thing was she engaged with Jack Posobiec, who is kind of a conservative troll on Twitter. I mean, he's a pretty responsible guy by and large. But she engages with him like a pissed off eighth grader.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe the immaturity that she tweets with. People call Trump immature. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's scary.
She's really like a Valley girl. So we got that going on in Congress. What's going on in Canada? Anything interesting?
Well, we've got in federal news, we've got the that whole situation with that construction company, the Montreal construction company, SNC Lavalin.
What's going on with that?
So that originally they had like private contracts to build things in Libya.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Trudeau was gonna look the other way.
Right.
And his justice minister was like, no, let's not let's not do that. And then all of a sudden she wasn't the justice minister anymore. She was the Veterans Affairs Minister all of a sudden. After that.
A weird. Why didn't he just fire her if he didn't?
Well, I don't know. And
why did he do anything? Right.
And then she recently resigned. And as soon as she resigned, she went and hired a former Supreme Court justice as her attorney to figure out what she can and cannot, what she should and should not say. Now she's supposed to testify, I believe, against Trudeau.
How festive.
Yeah.
So, what is Trudeau facing? Is he facing anything really serious?
Not yet, but this is going to be a huge platform that the Conservative Party is going to run on.
Nah, okay.
If
So,
if Andrew Scheer is smart,
yeah,
which he is, um,
that'd be a nice change, wouldn't
he did not fire her because he is a feminist.
it?
Well done, all you need. Well done.
It's actually a pretty funny remark.
So this is going to be between this, the fact that we have a huge amount of veterans that have been underpaid,
Yeah.
as well as war widows and orphans, war orphans. Their survivor benefits have been severely underpaid because of a screw up with the tax system.
That's why I'm excited about government taking over a lot of functions. They do stuff so well. They're so good.
Of course. So then we have that, and then we have this fiasco with this construction company, and her name is Jody Wilson-Raybould, the former Justice / Veterans Affairs Minister.
I heard that name. I didn't know what that was in reference to.
That's this whole fiasco. And then we have just Trudeau's general comportment over his tenure as Prime Minister, with his trips overseas and his, all about optics. And we have the Omar Khadr situation where he gave $10 million basically to a child soldier terrorist person.
$10 million?
Yes.
Why?
Because apparently this person's human rights were violated because he was a Canadian citizen who was sent to Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I heard about that.
Yeah. So all of these things, the conservatives have a veritable fucking plethora of choices to run on,
to go back and ping
and
Trudeau on.
Nobody's going to vote for the NDP. The
now,
NDP is the
remind me what the NDP is.
The NDP is the New Democrat Party.
Ah, yes.
They are very socialist. They are for, entirely free healthcare, entirely free university, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They want to be Sweden. No one's gonna vote for that in this climate.
Interesting.
And the thing about our conservatives is that they are basically still very liberal. Like Andrew Scheer has already said, if he were to be prime minister, that he would not he would not repeal the legalization. He might tweak things. He might tweak the legalization of pot, just do a bit of changing to it, but he's not going to reverse it.
Okay.
He's there are some things that the Ontario Premier, who is conservative, has done that Andrew Scheer does not support.
That's interesting.
Yeah. There have been some cuts that Ford has made to, one that Blind Girl is upset about is the autism funding.
Right.
He's made some cuts to that. But the tricky part about Ford is that he's got a huge fucking debt that he's inherited.
Yeah.
So no matter what he cuts, he's going to be the bad guy because he's got to find a way to get rid of our debt somehow. Now, is he doing it rather? It's going to be ironic to use the term liberally with a conservative, but
right.
Is he doing it rather liberally and heavy-handedly? Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of just cuts here, cuts there, cuts everywhere, and hoping that it's not really an educated approach. It's kind of more of like, I gotta do what I gotta do. So there's a lot of spending over here. Cut that. There's a lot of spending over here. Cut that. Instead of like, well, why is there a lot of spending over here?
Yeah.
It's just more like of a knee-jerk type of reaction.
Sorry, just had a minor reaction. Go ahead.
It's all good.
A minor puppy-related incident. Hang on. I'll be right back.
So Pinkalo says the NDP are thought to be true democratic socialists. If you look up that definition, you'll understand what the NDP is. Adam Smith says, sounds like Canadian parties are ready. Wait, what? Or when is the election for PM in Canada? October of this year. And okay. I can't fucking wait. I seriously can't fucking wait for the election.
Let's see. Pinkalo says he got $10.5 million because he was in Gitmo from the age of 15 to like 20, and it violated human rights because the Canadian government would intervene. Yeah, you could send me to Gitmo for 5 years and give me $10 million. I'd call it square.
Yeah. Sean says, I thought Canada had perfect healthcare and free colleges. Yeah, no.
Negative. All you need says the NDP is the cucked of the cucked. Pinkhouse says, and all the liberals say about the conservatives as well. You have 3 members that were falsely accused of rape and sexual assault. The NDP are what are considered to be true democratic socialists. So if you want to look up that definition, look up the NDP and you'll understand they fucked up British Columbia.
Yep.
And then Alan Smith says, sounds like the Canadian parties are at each other's throats, just like over here. Yeah, that's the truth. And Arf said Skep had a knee-jerk reaction. Yes, I what happened was my dog knocked my mouse off and onto the tile floor and broke the mouse. So I had to go and grab another mouse, plug it in, and snarl at the dog. So that's what took me away there.
Bernie lies whenever his mouth is moving.
That's the truth when he's breathing. Jean says, I thought Canada had perfect health care and free colleges. Right, you called that out. That's Ocasio-Cortez's dream. Can you imagine doing that with 330 million people in the United States? You know, just Jesus.
I don't think universal health care would work for us, and we only have 40 million. I don't know why people think the U.S. could possibly support a nationalized free healthcare system.
Yeah, Denmark has 10 million people, and it's smaller than Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
you can do that there. You know, you can get closer to it anyway. It still ultimately is a waste of money, is inefficient as hell, and rots from within. But but it takes longer to destroy the economy. That's what people don't realize is that the Scandinavian countries are headed for economic trouble. They're just headed there more slowly.
Yeah.
Because they're small. They have a highly they have a population that shares a common culture, and a very cooperative uh, uh, norm as a societal norm around there. And it will take longer for socialism to destroy them, but ultimately it will do that.
Yes.
Just because it does not have that capitalistic motive, the greed motive. Greed is good. Greed really is good. Greed is what drives people to innovate, and that's where inventions come from. So, Pical says that's because the liberals are like kids that don't want to do nothing but spend the fucking money.
It's true.
Raise taxes and not realize where the money really comes from. Conservatives always have to clean up their mess. He goes on and says, well, I'm not really, he's trimming the fat. I don't know who he's talking about.
Ford, probably.
Ford, okay. If you look at a lot of the programs that he's abolished, they've just been useless circle programs. I don't know what a circle program is, but let's see.
Denmark
Arvid says
also has a very high tax rate. Yeah, they
right, the extremely high. So does Sweden and Norway, for that matter. And there are, that's why Bjorn Borg, the tennis star back in the day, gave up his Swedish citizenship, became a citizen of Morocco. A lot of people forgot about that. It was just because they were taking 90 cents out of every dollar he was making. And taking 90 cents out of every dollar, that just disincentivizes you to do anything. Why do you get out of bed in the morning?
Agreed. And that's actually a good segue into the story that I wanted to talk about yesterday, but I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't, because now I can talk with you about it.
Cool. What is it?
Did you hear the bullshit about AOC saying, is it moral for us to even have children anymore?
No. She didn't say that.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Yeah, she totally did.
Oh, not if they're going to turn out like her. I might agree with that.
And I'm sitting there going, well, first of all, we as a species.
She's talking about us as a species, or just white people?
No, is it moral for us, with all of the climate change and debt and racism and all of this, is it moral to have children anymore?
Oh my God. Does that sound like a 7th grader's temper tantrum?
It totally does.
A little drama
queen? Sounds like, honestly, an angsty teenager that, I fucking hate life. I will never have kids and bring them into this shit world. I fucking hate my life because my mommy told me to do the dishes and I can't go out past 9 o'clock and I hate my life. Right. That's what that sounds like.
Right. That's exactly what it sounds like. And that's coming from a spoiled child who has avoided the development of any significant amount of character. She has just had things all go her way for so long. I saw the video she made while she was cutting up sweet potatoes and actually popped one in her mouth, which was strange. Uncooked sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just let that sink in for a minute. If you've ever bitten into an uncooked sweet potato, it's not something you do on purpose. So she's
I wouldn't bite into a cooked sweet potato on purpose, but that's just me. I don't like them.
I don't either. I am what I am. Had to get that in there.
Yeah.
But no, I don't like them either. But some people do. Anyway, she was cutting them up and talking about how we're in trouble. If we don't do something, we're dead. The human race is not going to exist in 12 years. And you're just going, really? 12 years? Okay. I didn't, last I heard, we didn't have the computing power to model the climate, but I guess she did something and she can do that now. She's in Congress, and when she says crap like this, it's supposed to be meaningful.
Yeah.
And she's having the effect of hurting everybody's credibility in Congress by being irresponsible with what she says. In a way, it's almost she can't help it. I think cognitively, she is about 12 years old.
Yeah.
I think is real. There's that can be substantiated. That is a tenable point.
Seamus says no, she was just unsupervised and ate lead paint chips as a child.
Yeah, just huffed a little too much paint. Just Al Gore did say the same thing in the 90s and in the 2000s, and it is an interesting thing. One of the things that actually did happen was Gore said that sea levels were going to rise as a result of the warming trend. Yeah. And you know what? They have. They absolutely, totally have.
Not anywhere near what he said they would, though.
Actually, they have. But here's the thing. They have risen about as much as he said. But here's what else is happening. Plate tectonics have not only kept pace with that, but have actually added a little bit of extra dry land in Florida because of the upthrust of land. So it's actually pushed itself out of the water. You can Google this stuff. You can look it up. You won't find it widely publicized because this doesn't support the Enviro's narrative. And so Google will not let you have that information right away. But if you keep digging, you can find this information that the reason, the warming trend has happened. And yes, the sea levels have risen. There's been a decrease in polar ice, and that has been reflected in sea levels. And guess what? The plate tectonics have more than made up for it by the way they thrust, especially the North American continent, up. And you're seeing some of the Pacific Islands that are, they're like the highest point on the island is 5 feet above sea level, right? Mm-hmm. And you are seeing some threats to those places. They're losing a substantial amount of real estate, and almost to the point where they're going to have to be evacuated. But that's, climates do change. Climates, it gets hot, it gets cold. That's the way that the world works. What we need to understand, pardon me, I didn't mean to go off on a rant like this, but it just happens with me.
Pincalo says, remember that giant iceberg that broke off in Antarctica last year that nobody talks about anymore? Yeah. Notice how the planet's temperature is starting to cool down? Where's the iceberg? And then he goes on to say, it's almost like the planet Earth that's been around for 5 billion years has developed its own climate or warming and cooling systems that just take a long time.
Well, he's absolutely right. And the geological record records, heating and cooling it's taken that has occurred over time. I don't know. What's your take on that? Do you, I get the feeling that people just want to do something, and they don't know if they're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic or if what they're doing is just pointless and isn't going to make any difference anyway, or could make a real difference. But they just want to do something. So they do silly stuff like banning straws. Yeah. Really? Banning straws? Really? And thinking that'll make a difference. We need, I don't know what the answer is, but what I hate is the environmentalists who run around and they just want to make themselves feel good. So they have paper drives and can drives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And because it makes them feel good to be doing something, even though it's not going to make any difference. I would rather spend that time and money and effort researching to find out what the real answers are. But when I say that to environmentalists, they get angry at me. They say, well, we've already done enough research. We know what the answers are. Okay, then why is there so much fighting about it? Those are irresponsible voices who just want to die? Anyway.
It's Irate Prostate.
Irate. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Irate and I, well, we're not going to talk about what we've been going on, but we've had a lot of back and forth recently. It's been good talking with him, and I'm friends with him and his wife Uzi Q.
Yeah,
and they're great folks.
They are.
Just some personal stuff that we've been talking about. He's really done well on his channel. He's got a bunch of subs, and his streams are good. His interviews, he gets great people.
Rambler says the straws were at the request of a child, by the way. Pincalo says the paper straws are retarded. Oh, yeah. Harvey's has implemented the paper straws. It's not just Harvey's, honey. I went to the mall with my O&M instructor, and we got A&W, and they had paper straws.
My goodness. I remember paper straws from when I was a kid. That's how I was a kid in the 1950s, and I remember paper straws, and they sucked, and then I remember when plastic straws came out, and they were amazing. They were so much better than paper straws. Paper straws, you had a certain amount of time to drink your drink, and then they basically started to dissolve.
Mm-hmm.
They were lame.
Hey, Gunfox, he's just checking in. We're raging about how stupid AOC is.
Yes, and the ban on plastic straws. And Gene says there is a giant island of plastic in the Pacific Ocean. There actually are several, they call them, I think, whorls, WHORL, whorls, mm-hmm. of garbage and plastic and so forth. There's a giant one in the Pacific that's pretty close to the Philippines, if I remember correctly. Basically, when you have two ocean currents come together, you'll get a collection of all the stuff that floats.
Yeah,
and that's what that is. And it is giant. It is a problem, and we need to do something. We could do something about it, but nobody is motivated to spend the money. It probably could be. You probably could clean all of it up for a few $1 billion, but nobody wants to spend that few $1 billion. So we'd rather waste it sending it to Hamas. Don't get me started. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Gunfox says, well, get a ship that can pull the plastic up and grind it and sell it for money. Yeah, something like that, exactly. Irate says, new Project Veritas has smoking gun proving that Facebook is suppressing RT-oriented streams. I believe that. They took one of the streams. The ABC took down a Facebook stream. Was it Steven Crowder the other day?
Really?
Yeah, he was doing a stream. He had like 40,000 people listening, and ABC filed bullshit copyright strike on him, and they canceled the stream right in the middle of it. I guess he was streaming on YouTube. That's what it was. He was streaming on YouTube, and then he had to go over to Facebook and finish the stream.
Wow.
And so that was, Yeah, the media is just
The
hideous.
more this keeps happening on YouTube, the more the more I keep thinking of doing simulcast, like getting Stream Me and doing like simulcast.
And like on what? I'm
Like
sorry.
because you can stream to both YouTube and Stream Me at the same time.
Oh, stream me. Yeah, yeah. Uh I didn't understand you. Stream me. Sure. Absolutely. Technically you could, if you had two PCs, you could do any two streaming services you wanted to. You just have to.
I don't even think you needed two PCs.
No, I'm just thinking about that. Actually, you could use one PC because you can because of the way that the audio is set up. Yeah, and the IO is set up. You definitely could just point it to two different places at the same time, and your video and audio would go out. Interesting.
John is asking about our thoughts on the changes to Rotten Tomatoes. I think that it's ridiculous.
I don't think I saw something about Rotten Tomatoes. I was going to read about it, and I don't know. Tell me what's going on
So
over
they're
there.
changing their review policies to guard against internet trolls, aka people who don't like the movie.
So they're going to, for certain movies, they're only going to permit positive reviews.
Yes.
Okay, that's a
And
shame.
we're guess there's a big theory that it has to do with like Captain Marvel, and
Oh, sure.
so
Well,
that nobody talks bad about Captain Marvel.
what will happen is people will start sneaking in code words
Mm-hmm.
and saying, "I really love this movie. It was unfortunate though that blah 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 blah." I'm still going to give it a very high rating because I want you to see my review. But here's the stuff that I didn't like about it,
Yeah.
and they'll start slipping stuff like that in. It's it's just inefficiency. You know, this and did you hear Tommy Robinson got deplatformed completely?
I did not hear that.
He lost his Facebook page. He had a million and change followers over there, and his Instagram. He's been banned permanently from both for hate speech.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just to show you that Zuckerberg is still every bit the fascist he always was.
That's insane.
He's that was a hateful, terrible thing to do, and it was all because he caught the BBC and exposed them and embarrassed the hell out of them. Because one of their people was he caught him with an underground, not underground, but with a mole. Basically, he sent a mole in to record what this guy was doing, and this guy admitted, I'm trying to, get this really slanted story, and I'm trying to get, some dirt on Tommy Robinson, and they just exposed the hell out of him. They actually invited the guy in to interview Tommy Robinson. He didn't realize that he was going to get shown the tape,
Right.
and it was the guy. And showed him getting drunk and just making a complete ass out of himself. And at any rate, after that video came out, Facebook instantly banned him permanently. Ban is permanent, and you can't appeal it. It's just done.
Good God.
Yeah, so he has been unpersoned by them. Sargon did a video on it this morning. Tommy Robinson he's not a nice man. Okay, he's not a good person by any stretch of the imagination. But what they've done is they've made him into kind of a saint of free speech.
Yes. They've made him a martyr for the cause, and he's not the right man that you want.
He's not. He's
a martyr for the cause. Like,
he's a con man. He's a hothead. He's a salt artist. He's the only thing right about him is that he's been persecuted by the lefty press.
Yeah. That's not at all who you want. to be going down in history for the free speech cause.
Agreed.
Like, and like, because first of all, you want his ridiculous things to be out in the light of day so you can go, look, that's ridiculous. That's the best way to, you know, to combat stupidity.
Yeah.
Let it shine.
Yeah.
so
let the
that
stupid
people
out.
can look at that and go, holy Christ. Because yes, there will be some people that go, that's true. I agree with that. But more people than that will go, that is absolutely retarded. And when they talk about the retarded thing and spread the word and go, check out this stupid racist moron, then you spread the word that that person is a stupid racist moron. And when they speak, most people go, ha 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 ha, look at that stupid racist moron.
Yep.
And they take what they have to say with a much less value than if you shroud it in darkness.
No doubt in my mind. If you shroud it in darkness, it becomes the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
And, so there was that. And it, if we had the intelligence, the simple courage to just not censor speech at all, let the sterilizing effect of the market of sunlight on the thing come down and burn out the bad stuff, because that's what happens in the marketplace of ideas. When it is rejected, that's what should happen. The people decide what is good and what is bad. Each person decides what is good and what is bad for him or her. And when they decide that, and it's overwhelmingly one way or the other, it's the way society says, okay, you can believe all that stuff you want. You have the liberty to do that, but you're marginalized because none of us agree with you. Fuck off. But boy, when you say, no, we can't have that, it becomes a secret thing being said someplace. These guys inadvertently make racism, fascism, communism, they turn those things into forbidden fruit, like you were saying. That they romanticize it. It's terrible. Anyway, so
I don't know if he's got Gab, Jean. He must. And then he says he and Alex Jones are martyrs. Yeah, the two very last people.
Yeah, two people I would actually cross the street to avoid seeing or talking to, and they're our heroes. It's courtesy of the media. Well done, lads. Beautiful. So there you go.
And hello, fishing guy.
Hey, fishing guy. And so anyway, that's kind of what's been that I know about what's been going on in the universe.
Well, there's a story that I wanted to read a couple of days ago, but I never got a chance to. I don't know if I think it's buried in my DMs, but I'll tell you the headline and maybe you can look it up or something.
Sure, what is it?
But Bill Cosby says that prison is an amazing experience, apparently.
What?
Yes.
Hold on.
His spokesman says that Bill Cosby is telling him that prison is just amazing.
Let's see. Bill Cosby's disturbing prison phone call has folks convinced he is possessed.
He's what? Okay.
The fallen comedian is reporting losing it behind bars. Hold on. Let's see.
I can find it.
A new report indicates Bill Cosby is mentally warped while behind bars, as he was recorded having a phone conversation where he said that he was inadvertently communicating with his dead mother.
Okie
dokie. The disgraced comic is heard randomly ranting to longtime friends during a jailhouse phone call. What I'm about to tell you is not something that I think is something in the cosmos or spiritual or something. Cosby 81 rambled. For the first time ever in my life, I was sitting and I was relaxed. He then went on to detail a bizarre occurrence that he claimed was completely legit in his eyes. I am unsighted, he says. So I think that means blind. Yes. So I took my hand and I was about to pick up and my index finger went across. And I'm telling you the truth. This is not a joke. I'm very proud to tell you that this at this time. The site went on to decode that Cosby attempted to suggest that he believed that his late mother was sending him subliminal messages during the strange event. When it went across, there was a throbbing, and that I think we've all had them in the muscle. Some muscle will go tick, tick, something like that. He said, tick, tick. I just put my finger back there to it. Now, this is all subjective. I'm saying to myself, my mother, who is dead, not that she was contacting me. My mother was calling me or trying to reach me. This marks the first time the public has heard Cosby's voice since he was sentenced to 3 to 10 years behind bars following his conviction in April of aggravated indecent assault against accuser Andrea Constand. And then they have the recording. You can
I found the article. I'll put it in side chat.
Okay. And our chat or big chat?
No, I'll put it in our chat.
Okay.
Like in our side chat.
Okay, gotcha.
And then you can click the link and
I can bloviate on it. We can co-bloviate. It sounds like he's not doing well in prison.
No.
Maybe he shouldn't have assaulted all those women.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking different. Okay, there it is. Let's see what we have here. Bill Cosby's spokesman says the comedian thinks prison is an, quote, amazing experience.
So,
okay.
So put that with the last report Skep just read, and now this.
Let's see. Yeah, he used the term amazing experience, said his press spokesman, Andrew Wyatt. Wyatt's interview with WCAU in Philadelphia provides new details of Cosby's time behind bars at SCI Phoenix, the prison outside Philadelphia. Cosby was sentenced in September to 3 to 10 years in prison for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in 2004. The case came after dozens of women came forward with accusations that Cosby had drugged and assaulted them with similar incidents over his lengthy career atop the comedy world. Cosby was moved to the prison's Gen Pop 2 weeks ago and is now in a single cell without a cellmate. He was moved to the prison's general population 2 weeks ago and is now in a single cell without a cellmate, said Amy Warden, press secretary for the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. He was previously being held in a single cell in a unit adjacent to the infirmary. Bill Cosby's wife, Camille, has not yet visited him in prison, and that's just how Cosby prefers it, Wyatt says. She might be pissed off about all the drugging of women and illicit
didn't
sex he was
stand beside him?
Probably. She stood beside his money anyway. You know, she knows he's about to kick, and she's probably favorably treated in the well. Right now, I'm his only visitor outside of his attorneys, and that's the way he wants it. Wyatt says she has not visited him, and he does not want her to visit him. Instead, Cosby prefers to speak to his wife by phone 3 times a day for 3 minutes each. The prison, 30 miles outside of Philadelphia, is about a 30 to 45-minute drive from Montgomery County, where Cosby has a home. He's mentally strong. quote, end quote. In the
That's
NBC 10 interview, yeah, I know, right. Wyatt says Crosby has lost weight while behind bars. He wakes up at 3:30 in the morning to exercise in his cell and also has avoided eating bread or dessert in prison. He hasn't drunk any coffee since he's been there. Now, the funny part about it is Mrs. Cosby's been trying to stop him drinking coffee for 55 years, and it took this to stop him from drinking coffee. This is almost a surreal article, isn't it?
ooh.
This is a rapist we're talking about.
Irate just brought up a good point.
What's that?
He has a psych degree, faking Alzheimer's or dementia? Question mark with some question marks.
His degree is actually in education. His best friend is a psychiatrist, a doctor who's a psychiatrist, and but I think is Bill Cosby education. See, he received a master's degree from University of Massachusetts Amherst and earned his Doctor of Education and degree in 1976, also from UMass. So he's kind of a education guy, and but you know, I'm sure he had to take some psych from that. He'd actually been a high school dropout back in the day. I think he got a.
He probably went in as a mature student, or
GED.
after the military.
He was not in the military, I don't think. I don't believe.
I thought he was a doctor in the.
No, he was. Let's see.
Or a medic or something like that.
No, he failed 10th grade in Germantown High School in Philadelphia. Oh, he did join the U.S. Navy, earns his high school equivalency degree. He spent 4 years in the Navy. I did not know that. I had no idea about that. He was honorable discharged from the U.S. Navy.
He talks about it a lot in his stand-up, that he was...
that was before he went to Temple University on an athletic scholarship. He was a track guy.
Yeah.
And then in 1962, he quit Temple University to do comedy full-time. In 1971, he was awarded a bachelor's degree by Temple University.
Okay.
And a master's degree in education from University of Massachusetts in 72. And his doctorate in education from University of Massachusetts in 1976. And
Zombie Teddy says knowing about mental illness and being able to pull it off are two very different things. Yes.
His doctoral thesis is entitled, you got to listen to this, An Integration of the Visual Media via Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids into the Elementary School Curriculum as a Teaching Aid and Vehicle to Achieve Increased Learning.
Wow. Because I want Fat Albert educating my kids.
Right. Exactly. So, okay. I think he's a weird guy. I think that he never expected to be as successful as he was, and something happens to people. They just don't think that the rules apply to them. And the other thing is, he was not aware. He didn't react to the fact that the rules have changed. Stuff that would fly in years past, although I don't think rape would ever fly, but inappropriately coming on to women and stuff like that would have flown back in the 50s and 60s doesn't fly today. I mean, you can't, you just can't do that. Not in today's climate. I don't think he was ever sensitive of that. I don't think he thought things applied to him. He would always get out of it. It was just, a problem that could be fixed. And suddenly he's landed in jail. I would imagine that his mind is probably close to snapping.
Yeah.
At this point.
And I wonder how many people in jail are especially now that he's in Gen Pop. I wonder how many people, because of who he is, are, instead of hating on him, are kind of, you know,
idolizing him
because he's Bill
Yeah.
Cosby.
Yeah, definitely. He's probably getting a lot of strokes in prison. Man, I love you.
Yeah. I grew up watching the Cosby Show.
Oh man, I remember when his album came out. Why Is There Air? And we were talking 1964 or 5 roughly. Yeah. And we listened to that and would just laugh until we drooled. We just laugh and laugh and laugh. We thought it was the funniest thing we'd ever heard.
RVA says actually Fat Albert was pretty good. Well, he might have been pretty good, but The Simpsons are pretty good.
Right.
I don't want them as teaching aids.
Yeah, as Bart Simpson teaching your sons.
Would you mind talking to chat while I go get my phone charger?
Absolutely. Go get
my phone's gonna die.
No, don't do that. Go get your charger. Let's see. Yeah, Arva says
it's. I'll be right back.
Okay. Arva says it's sad to see a Navy guy doing these things. I agree. I was mortified when I saw that he was in the Navy. Dread Darkwater's here. Hi, you guy. Nice to see you. And Cosby is a talented guy, but you can't just treat people and women like pieces of meat. You can't do what is basically criminal activity and get away with it. Not even Bill Cosby can do that. So I think everybody was kind of relieved that this pervo got put in the can. I mean, he'll die in there. He realizes he's not going to come out. He's I don't know how old he is now, but he's got to be in his mid-70s, and a 10-year sentence, even if he gets half off for good behavior, he's going to be 80 and have lived in prison for that long. It's going to be a pretty tough situation. So, if you don't want to go to prison, don't rape people. It's actually pretty basic. So I'm going to go back through here. Zombie Teddy, well, he's probably trading his pudding pops for smokes. You never know. Rambler, I agree. The man snapped. And Ray Prostate did bring up a good point. Cosby, I don't think he has a psych degree. Or if he does, it's just his undergraduate degree. But is he feigning dementia and Alzheimer's? He's an actor first and foremost. Really the type of comedy that he does is more acting than just straight comedy, in my opinion. And is he capable of feigning dementia or Alzheimer's? Certainly, or just capable of feigning simple psychosis. And I think the answer is yes. I think that is definitely a possibility. It's odd that we spend this much time talking about an aberrant personality like Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. And we there's so many good things, so many wonderful things in the world that we probably ought to be talking about. And we talked about the crazy stuff.
Here's another thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So I saw an article that Ranting Monkey actually was talking about. He quote tweeted from the Daily Signal about a transgender track runner. Male to female. Okay.
Yes.
And she won. And her message to other actual biological females is that they just need to work harder.
And that's true. A Twitter friend of mine, Zuby Music, is a serious power lifter, and he's spoofing, of course, but he said, I identify as female. And then he picked up, deadlifted like 500 pounds, which that's typical for him. He's an accomplished deadlifter.
Yeah.
And in doing so, smashed the UK women's record for the deadlift. And then he gets over on the bench press and he smashes the world women's record for that. He said, and I told him that courageous women like you are the future of women. It's woman 2.0. Really better than women born with vaginas.
Yes.
Because, you're just better, stronger, faster, and the thing of it is you have in the MMA area, you have these transsexuals who go in there and they just beat the crap out of the biologically original or cis females, if you want to call them that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're men, okay? They have years and years and years of developing men. They have muscle mass that is twice the size, twice the amount of muscle mass of the women they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And guy hit this woman, even with all the protective gear on, he broke her jaw. He almost killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, you mark my words, watch and see. One of them is going to kill a woman. And
it's like, and it just, to me, it's really, again, ironic that a transgendered male to female is telling a biological woman that they just need to work harder. Isn't that a little sexist?
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. It's like a woman producing a child and looking at a man and say, you can have a baby too. Just try a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
Just grow a uterus. Just grow a fucking uterus.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Just grow a fucking uterus, get a wider pelvis.
Yeah, exactly.
And acquire the pelvic and lower leg muscles required to push out a child. Go on.
Yeah. Just try harder.
Get cracking.
Yeah, you could do it. You're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Fuck. So, that's very strange. I don't know what to say about that.
I don't understand where the thought process went so far off the track. Like, I just don't. Where did we go wrong from, original suffrage and original civil rights and achieving what those people set out to achieve.
Right.
And here.
Just pushed it too far. Just push the same principles. And when you push them too far, they get all strange and mutated. Okay. And you have transsexual, basically men, beating the crap out of women. And men who call themselves women who aren't naturally stronger than women are. It's a thing called testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It builds strong muscles. And men have lots of it, and women don't have much of it.
Yes.
And so yeah, sooner or later somebody's going to get killed. And then they'll say, well, that was stunning and brave for her to get in there and fight such a great competitive woman who killed her. I don't think they'll even back down then because the purity testing, of showing how woke you are. Everybody's trying to show each other how woke they are. And like it's a good thing. And it's not a good thing. It's killing us.
It is.
It's really causing a decrement in the quality of living. I hope we recognize that. I think we will. We usually do as human beings. But
you get these crazy, women have penises too.
A
And
female penis.
yes, a female penis. And then you get, you know, representatives in Congress saying that, asking, is it moral to have children? And you just go, what the fuck is going on?
Exactly. So, things have slipped a little too far that way. I just hope we come to our senses.
I hope we don't swing back the other way. Like, I hope we swing back to the center and not to the extreme right, because both extreme left and extreme right would be a setback.
Agreed. I have a prediction.
What's your prediction?
Just occurred to me the other day. I was thinking about this. I predict a lot fewer people are going to get college degrees. I think college is going to become a declining industry. It's going to, well, not declining, but it's going to shrink. And a lot of colleges that exist today, they're not going to exist in 10 years.
I would agree.
15 years. You're going to get an influx of people who are, they don't want to, I was looking at this one lady. She has a degree in speech pathology. She spent $225,000. Yeah, I know. And that's money she's never going to be able to pay it back. And so she wants Bernie, because Bernie will cancel the debt. Bernie Sanders has said that, I will cancel those debts. You won't owe a thing. Just elect me. He's a typical socialist. Yeah. Elect me and everything's for free. And people look at somebody like Bernie and they realize that's my only way out. I'm never going to earn enough money as a speech pathologist to pay this back. And that's just a bachelor's degree. You have to get an advanced degree to do anything with speech pathology.
Yeah.
Really. So I think that the degrees are going to become much, it's considered just an excellent thing to go to college now. Much better than to not go to college. That's the way people think of it now.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to think of it that way for very long. I think there's going to be a modification in that thinking, and people are going to say, well, what'd you major in? If you say something like sociology, they're going to laugh at you. If you say gender studies, they'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
Canada does not need 10,000 gender studies majors.
No, they do
a
not.
Year. Okay. That's a good question. How many gender studies graduates are there in Canada per year? And I'll bet I can find out. Number of gender studies graduates in Canada per year. Let's see what this comes up with. Canada, let's see. Oh, you got to be kidding me. All right, let's look at Canada University. The number of students graduated from post-secondary institutions by gender and field of study. So social and behavioral sciences, it's like 30,000 women per year. Do you really need 30,000 sociology and 30,000 sociologists per year? That's basically what they're saying here.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Extremely unhelpful.
It's just absolutely amazing to me. 29,121 women graduated in humanities in Canada. This was for 2016, the last year they have data for. 29,000.
That is insane.
Women. Oh my God. And what are those women going to do with that? nothing other than have a big giant, debt they have to pay back. And Bernie's going to make all that free. So you'll have this 4 years babysitting thing after high school, where you basically get to smoke pot and hang out with your dude bros. And then you'll get a meaningless degree that maybe you can't read. Hate to see that. I mean, college is important for some people. If you're pre-med or pre-law, you need to go to college. You need to have that background. But if you're going to be a liquor salesman or a bricklayer, you don't need to go to college.
Well, see, like Pincalo and I want our kids to go to like trade school or something.
Absolutely. And that's
get an apprenticeship somewhere, maybe.
That's what I did with my kids. I and my daughter went and learned to be a dental assistant and is now taking courses to become a hygienist.
Yeah.
And she never went to college. She attended one semester at Texas Tech, decided that's not for me, and she blew it off. And my son he graduated from high school and he enlisted in the Marine Corps. And then he went back to college on the GI Bill, but he majored in math. You have to go to, college to major in math.
Yeah.
And as a result, he's got a really great future and all that kind of stuff. So
I was going to university for languages.
Yeah.
But like when I got, because last week's accident was my second car accident. But when I got hit by the car, I finished my year and everything. And I tried to do stuff in the summer. I tried to do courses, but the language, like the online language courses, were completely inaccessible for me. And my school's accessibility department were just like, oh, well. And I'm like, well, isn't it your job to make things accessible?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So, but I mean, the way that universities have gone, especially the one that I was going to, I'm kind of glad that I'm not there anymore. Like, if I want to learn languages, I'll just download the Duolingo app because it's accessible and very good, and I'll just teach myself.
And you can learn a language that way. I mean, if you have to, it takes a lot of discipline, but you can do it. But that's that's an option. How long did you go to college?
I did a year and a summer term where I took a sociology course that I hated every minute of.
And was it a politically correct sociology course?
Oh, God.
White men bad?
Well, it wasn't quite that yet because this was in like 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very much, I think the teacher didn't like me very much because she was, she started the class by saying, oh, we shouldn't generalize in sociology. That's a big no.
Shouldn't generalize?
Yes. But then the entire book.
Did she ever read Emil Durkheim? That's what he taught.
Apparently she was a huge Durkheim fan, but didn't comprehend half the shit that he wrote.
Did she read Evans Pritchard, Durkheim, Levi Strauss, any of those guys?
So her textbook that she had us read was insanely generalized.
Right.
And I pointed it out. I said, you started this semester by saying that we should not generalize. But if you read this textbook, it's got every stereotype imaginable. Like the thing that got me the most angry was there was a part in a chapter that said in general, people tend to think of people who listen to heavy metal and wear black clothing as troublemakers and up to no good. And I had to say something in class. I'm like, how could you have started out this semester by telling us not to generalize and then hand us a textbook that has every stereotype known to man, including one that was freaking
jumped off the page at you.
It jumped off the page. I'm like, you had, like, how can you say this? You had people blaming the Columbine shooters for their taste in music, and that's why they fucking went up and shot up a high school.
Of course they did.
And you're gonna fucking give us a textbook with that in it? Like, are you serious? And she hemmed and hawed, and like I was really mad at my school because I was told too late that my student loan would not cover that course because I was only taking that course. And I was not taking enough courses to be covered under my student loan. But when I was told that, it was too late to drop the course without penalty. So I either drop the course and have to pay for the course, or I take the course and I have to pay for the course. So I'm like, well, if I have to fucking pay for the course, I may as well take it.
Wow.
But I was really pissed off that I was told, oh,
I can see it. Yeah, I would be too.
You have to, no, this is actually going to have to come out of your pocket. And I'm like, what the I can't afford the fuck with you.
Yeah, especially a nonsense course like this.
Yeah, I was not, so I didn't go back. I didn't register for any courses in the fall because I was totally disenfranchised with my...
Disenchanted with the idea. Yeah, I can see that. I can see how you would be. Yeah, the sad thing is that real sociology and real anthropology are worth learning. I mean,
that's why because I was like, it might be something like more of a psychological type of thing, because I like the psychology stuff. That stuff interests me. And I thought that the sociology course that I would be taking would be more like the theory behind it. But it was just a very, very superficial scratching of the very basic sociological tenets. There was no theory. She didn't have us read any preeminent sociologists. It was just, here, read this textbook that was written by some professors.
It's interesting, the field of sociology, as when I was taking anthropology, and I took some social courses, but this was back when it was taught as a discipline. It was actually taught as it was the teachings of Emil Durkheim and Max Weber.
Yeah, it was more taught as a science.
Right, exactly.
Which is what I was expecting.
Durkheim wanted to know how societies. He wanted to know why do societies function the way they do, and how do they maintain their coherence? As technology changes, especially. Yeah. And and he said, we're busting into this era at the beginning of the 20th century where traditional social and religious ties aren't what they used to be. Yeah. And there are these new social institutions have come into being, and he wanted to know what their role was in influencing how the various parts of a society worked. The first thing he talked about, I remember I read the division of labor in society.
Yeah.
He published that in 1893, and then he published the rules for sociology. Basically, I think it was called the Rules of Sociological Method around the turn of the century, and he was a brilliant man. He influenced a guy by the name of E. Evans Pritchard
Mm-hmm.
in and that started the field of social anthropology, which is, as much as anything, what I majored in, kind of a combination of linguistic, social anthropology, and cultural anthropology, all under the aegis of cultural anthropology. And those were fields of study with rules that you could begin to understand how different parts of cultures in the anthropological part and different parts of societies in the sociological part work together, what the constituent parts were, and you could even make some prescriptive. You could even predict with a certain amount of accuracy how they were going to develop and what their next developments were going to be. Well, suddenly, it's interesting. In sometime in the 1990s, somebody decided that the other inventor of sociology was Karl Marx. He was the third. He was the third founder of sociology. That just absolutely blew me away, because Marx was nothing but, you talk about generalizer.
Mm-hmm.
He was just basically scribbling away his little philosophical meanderings in
Yeah.
a library in England, and out came the Communist Manifesto. That's not sociology. It's crap.
Yeah.
It sounds like sociology, but it's not, and it's completely unrealistic. I mean, he talks about stuff like the intrinsic value of labor. Labor has no intrinsic value, guy. Labor is valued by the market, by what people will pay for the labor. Okay.
Well, and it's not even, if you want to get more philosophical than that, labor has a different type of value to it as well.
How so?
If you're not, I'm not just talking about labor as in like your job.
Okay.
I'm talking about labor in the broadest sense of the word, like whether it be something you've done, like whether it be you've cleaned your garage.
Oh, okay.
Or
not just job based stuff.
Yeah, not just job based labor, but
Okay.
everyday labor has a value that's not financial.
Yeah, you're talking about social activity,
and it's not even it's not even the social value.
Okay.
It's personal value.
Right.
You as a human being, like, I felt like with my depression, it's hard for me to get motivated to do anything anyway. But after the car accident last week, I didn't do anything. And my kitchen and my living room were a disaster, right? And it felt awful. And so when I cleaned up the living room and the kitchen, I felt accomplished, right?
Yes.
I had done something to my home that made my home more livable.
Yes.
And that in itself has a value.
Yep.
And Karl Marx and people like him are so, like, they bitch about the mechanism and the machine of capitalism. But the more you look at a communist ideology and the theory behind communism, the more you're like, are you a robot person?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you not understand how humans work? Like, it's
what's going to motivate you?
Yeah, like they say that it's a giant, it's projection. They say that capitalism is the machine, but you can't get more mechanized than a communist country.
Absolutely true. It's mechanistic, I think, is the idea that you're going for, and I agree with you. There's nothing that is positively motivating about communism. Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Why do you go to work? Why do you work hard? Why do you strive? Why do you put in extra hours? Why do you try and do things more efficiently? Build a better mousetrap?
Well, and that's the dangerous thing about AOC saying, is it moral to have kids? Because that is part of why human beings do what they do. It's the we're a species. We need to procreate. And when you've procreated, if you're a good parent, that is another reason for you to get out of bed in the morning.
Right.
That's another reason to work more hours. That's another reason to, you're exhausted, but, your kid wants you to crawl around on the floor with them. So you do, because that's your kid. Like, if you take away that like when you have places like China, who, they've reversed it now, but for a long time you had the you can only have one child thing.
Yes.
Like, is that what she wants? Does she want us to, like, that's frightening, that path. You can't just say things like that without understanding the consequences.
No. And the point is, folks, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all its forms, greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has marked the upward surge of mankind.
Yes.
And greed, mark you my words, will save the United States of America. Thank you very much. That's from the movie Wall Street. I love that.
I believe it. I've heard that. I've seen Wall Street. It's a good movie.
Yes, it is.
And it's greed is the only reason that we have stayed around long enough to evolve.
Yep.
Because we as a species went, hey, we enjoy living. We're going to do whatever it takes to continue that. And without greed, we wouldn't have invented any of what we've invented. Without greed, there wouldn't have been a fucking race to the moon. Without the competition of, God, no fucking way is Russia going to get there before us.
Yep.
Would we have got to the moon? We wouldn't have got to the moon without that.
It's absolutely true.
For better or worse, the nuclear arms race wouldn't have given us rocket technology to get there.
Oh, yeah. The difference in the Russian space program and the American space program was profound, and people didn't realize that. People thought, about the time, about 1966, 67, when the Russians had, or even back in 1961 and 62, when in 1961, America sent up a couple of suborbital flights, Alan Shepard and Gus Grissom, not even one whole orbit of the Earth, just into space and down.
Yeah.
And they had sent Yuri Gagarin for an orbit of the Earth, and they told the world that he landed with a spaceship. But, he didn't actually land with a spaceship. Do you know the story about that?
I know he didn't land with his spaceship, but I can't remember the particulars.
They put in an ejection seat because they realized he would not survive. They had not worked out how to land him on land. So he had to get out of the space capsule because it would have pancaked him. It would have, it would have put so many G's on him, he would have died.
Yeah.
On impact. And so they put in basically an ejection type seat. And when he got to a certain altitude, under the parachute that was, not sufficient to save him in his capsule, he simply ejected from the capsule, bailed out, as it were, and went, landed separately from his capsule. So, but they told everybody that no, he landed with his capsule, got out of his capsule once he was on the Earth, and was picked up and so forth. And so they were doing things. So many of their guys barely survived. Yarman Titov, who went for, I remember thinking 7 orbits, man, that's awesome. That was amazing. We had not even put John Glenn up yet, and the Russians already had a 7 orbit guy, and we were going to try and do 3 orbits. Our 3 orbit guy was a lot safer than their 7 orbit guy. I mean, his capsule almost came apart, when it re-entered.
That's terrifying.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the death of Komarov, their version of he was their Neil Armstrong.
Oh, okay.
And Komarov burned up in a capsule that he knew he was going to die in. He knew when he was launched he was going to die. He knew he was going to die, and it was one of these things where politically, no, it was either going to launch or people were going to get shot.
That's wow.
And that was the Soviet Union. And the person they wanted to go up, they wanted Gagarin to go back up. Komarov insisted that he go up so that he would die, and the great hero of the Soviet Union, Gagarin, would not die. Strangely,
wow.
in a routine training flight exercise 3 years later, Gagarin got killed in one of their crappy fighter jets. But that stopped working. Yeah. And
see, and we have
crashed for no reason.
And then we have stuff like you hear stuff like that from the Russians, and that's freaking terrifying and crazy. And then you wonder, how did those people get 14 probes to Venus?
Right, exactly.
And get fucking pictures.
And that was a one of these things where, Russian engineering, there's nothing wrong with it if they have enough time to do it. The problem was they were trying to rush stuff in the manned space flight, but they took their time with the Venus probes, Venera probes, and they actually got pictures of the surface of Venus where it rains liquid lead. It's so hot out of the sky, liquid metal out of the sky. It rains, and it survived for like 20 minutes before it was, finally destroyed by the heat and pressure. And the pressure is what, 1,000 times?
Earths.
Is it 90 Earth?
It's
90 or 1,000 something. Yeah, 90.
No, it's only 90 Earth atmospheres.
Yeah, only 90. Yeah,
only 90.
It would crush you down to about the size of a soda can.
I'm supposed to check my Streamlabs.
Oh, check the Streamlabs.
My PayPal didn't buzz.
All right.
That's why I didn't. Because I can't have OBS. I don't have a Streamlabs OBS. Oh, guess what Voicemeeter Pro is only for on Apple?
Oh, don't tell me what.
Only iPad and iPhone. Because for some reason you only need Voicemeeter on your mobile devices.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
Jesus. You got to get off Apple. Apple is so nasty. It's so bad. My God.
Oh, it's fucking ridiculous.
That's sickening. Sorry to hear that. Sickening.
This is just I got so mad when I was looking it up I was on Blind Girl's stream last night. And
Blind Girl's here, by the way.
Yes, she is. She's the one who told me to check my Streamlabs.
Okay.
But I was on her stream, and all of a sudden you hear me go, "Fuck sakes!" Everyone's like, "What?" I'm like, fucking no VoiceOver Pro for Mac."
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Got somebody at the door.
I don't have anything yet, blind girl.
I'm gonna have to. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
I'll be back in just a minute. Somebody at the door.
No, it didn't go through. It's if you have PayPal, I just received a very obvious phishing scam on my Hotmail account. I haven't gotten any emails or anything like that. But I will check it. I will check it. Sound Pro. Can I use that for Mac though? Let's look up Sound Pro. It's on Steam for download. Okay, because I don't have... Sound Pro. Let's check the Mac App Store first. App Store. App Store, App Store. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, I'm done. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Okay.
Nope. There's no Sound Pro.
What are you looking for?
Everyone's trying to tell me to look up Sound Pro.
Sound Pro for what? What are we trying to do here?
That's another voice meter type. Oh, Sound Pad.
Sound Pad.
Not Sound Pro.
Sound Pad. Okay. Soundpad on Steam. Play sounds in voice chats, high digital quality, add sounds to music. Is that the kind of thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, she said it was on Steam. But
yes, it is. You want me to put the link in side chat?
I'm on Google right now. Okay. I'll see if I can. Yeah, I just found the Steam link. I wonder if that means there's only a PC version. Play sounds and voice chats in high digital thing.
Let's see. I'm going to follow this that I just put inside chat. Okay, this is Soundpad. And is it hardware?
All software, it says.
But Soundpad. Important notice. System requirements: OS, Windows 7 or newer. It has to be Windows.
Fuck.
Processor has to be Intel or AMD, so it definitely is Windows. Only Windows. Sorry.
FFS.
You got to get off that Apple crap. It's old technology. Some of it's really good technology, and it's what keeps everybody there. But
well, the way Apple's going, I never thought I'd go back to a PC, but
you got to give it some thought now.
I think the next computer I go for will be a PC, but we got to get Pinkala one first because this one actually, my Mac works.
Yeah.
Pincalo's like it struggles to
just turn on.
process.
Yeah.
Just he needs a new fucking computer. We got to get him a new computer.
Yeah. Just the processors go out of date so quickly. I mean,
they really do.
This computer's a year old. I was talking about it with Hammer, and he didn't know that I had this computer, this processor architecture, but he talked about that architecture exactly. He said that, of course, that's ancient technology. I'm like, really? I bought this from Dell a year ago.
Yeah. Well, and it's even more costly to build a computer now than it is to buy one.
You can't. And to assemble a computer, people charge you $10. So there's no money in building your own computer anymore. There just isn't. It's too efficiently done overseas.
Peter Ullman says the irony is it can play AAC files, which are Mac proprietary audio files.
Right. Yeah,
they are. So SoundPad can play Apple content.
But Apple can't use SoundPad.
Apple can't use SoundPad.
The irony is
fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Just fucking brilliant.
So,
well, let's do some chat time because it's 5 to 12.
Yes, we've been going at this for almost 2 hours. Are you trying to make your streams more closer to 2 hours now?
Yes. Okay. 2 hours is the benchmark. It's just that because of me being sick and then the accident the past week and a half, it's been hard to do a full 2 hours. But
fate is going to determine a lot of what we do in life.
It is, yes.
So let's see who is. Let's see. All you need, if you have PayPal, I just received a very obvious phishing scam email on Hotmail. Report it all around and keep your eye peeled to everybody. It's good to know. Blind Girl says Sound Pro is $6, but does similar, and it's from Phishing Guy. Huh.
That was when she meant Sound Pro.
Oh, that SoundPad. Okay, so that's what she meant. All right. Sorry, just catching up here. Arva says, as much as I'm enjoying the stream, I'm bid you guys adieu. Keep on rocking. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks, Arva. Glad you're here. Hope you can hear this goodbye. We appreciate you. Shipmate. Peter Allman says, there is also a mod add on download for which it generates text to speech. Yeah, I guess talking about the SoundPad stuff. Mm-hmm. Peter Allman said, honestly, in all honesty, I did not know it was Windows only. Yeah, I was just reading from the spec sheet. Let's see, Zombie Teddy. Blind Press, Steve Jobs was a vegan, so stupid doesn't fall too far from the tree. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Phishing Guy says you don't think it. I don't think it's working. What are you trying to do, Phishing Guy?
Is it SoundPad or Streamlabs? Maybe he's trying to.
Are you trying to Streamlabs something? It streamlabs.com/blindpress if that's what you're trying to do. Or if you're trying to put a link in chat, you don't need a mod or a wrench anymore. Send money? Yeah. That's weird. Streamlabs might be... He's trying to send me money. Oh, okay.
All right.
It's not working. Streamlabs is being a douchebag. Okay.
Is he trying to use a credit card or is he using PayPal?
Yeah, are you trying to use a credit card or PayPal? Because that also could, yeah.
Yeah, the PayPal connection. If you're using PayPal, it can have. I've had some problems with that. I've never had a problem with a credit card when I have sent people money.
I don't know how to use it.
In fact, that's how. Yeah. Okay. That's
PayPal is a lot easier. Actually, I need to help you get set up, Blind Girl.
Yeah, you guys need to have
I'll do later, Suspicion Guy.
like
okay.
a private hangout and get that going.
Yeah, Blind Girl, we've got to do like a private hangout at some point, and I'll help you get set up because it's stupid easy. Like when I help you, you're gonna smack yourself in the forehead.
But you know, if you haven't
moments.
done it before, you know, you have to
Yeah.
have somebody show you where the, you know.
Like when I found out how to do a hangout and do a stream, because I was getting so pissed off because
Right.
I was like, how the fuck do I stream?
I remember
And then
that.
you and Hammer showed me in Pincalo about the events page.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my god, that is stupid easy.
Yeah, it makes it
And I
easier.
felt ridiculously stupid, but I had never done it before, so it was like,
you do it that way, you can set it up interactively, and you don't have to. I mean, with the page where you can just, you know, set it up the way that you want to set it up, as opposed to doing a wizard where if you make one false move, the whole thing blows up and you've got this zombie stream going. Yeah, I hate the wizard thing that YouTube has.
Shit, tonight's your 50 stream party or 50 sub party? Fuck, man.
Dude.
Any news from Hammer? I haven't seen any news from Hammer.
He we got a sit rep, I guess late day before yesterday, so
Okay.
almost yesterday, and that he was back home, out of the hospital, back home and recuperating. He has been tweeting today, and you know what? I'm going to check Discord real quick because I sent him a DM. Oh, there he is. I got a sit rep for you right now, and this is today. I'm home, but I'm probably going back. The CT scan found a, quote, mass, end quote, in my left flank, putting pressure on my left kidney, shutting it down. MRI is incoming. So,
Yeesh.
Yeah, Hammer's going through it right now, and we need to all get behind our friend. Tell Hammer you love him. Send him some love. He's a great guy. He's helped a lot of us, me included, and I have nothing but respect for that man. So. Anyway.
But, yeah, Blind Girl, I would love to come on your 50 sub party if you'll have me.
Yeah.
And if you're awake, you should come and listen to Minions of the Zoo tonight.
Absolutely. Blind Press is going to be on.
I am, and Skep's hosting tonight. So, yeah.
We're going to have some fun tonight. So
I want to say thank you guys for coming out and listening to us. I hope it was a good stream today. I enjoyed it. I think we had a great stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please be back here tomorrow morning at 10 for another episode. And like I said, come check out Minions of the Zoo tonight, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. Have
on
a great
Minions
rest
of the Zoo.
Yeah,
Minions of the Zoo channel, and thanks for having me on, Blind. It's fun as always.
It's always fun. And you know what, guys? Have a great day and stay safe out there.
Be careful out there, guys.